But today we have somebody who's actually not officially a part of ZINZINO, and yet I think everybody in ZINZINO knows his name, and he follows ZINZINO also in so many ways and has been such a great inspiration to so many people. And I think it's because so many people that want to build this business, they get started and they sometimes find different hurdles in regards to what do we want to say to people. And he has this way of just making it so absolutely easy. It's so simple, and his methods work. And I'm totally honored to have him here. He's kind of like a legend in direct sales. So we are honored to have him here. And we're going to talk today about how to talk to people with no fear or with no fear of rejection. And isn't that what we all want? So let's bring him on here. A warm welcome to you, Tom Big Al Schreiter. Hi, Tom.
Hi. Well, living legend makes me sound really, really old. Excellent.
Okay, Tom, you are not old, definitely young at heart. We know how much fun we have when we're with you in person. And a lot of the people on here wrote me right away because they have also spent time with you at different events, at Mastermind, talking with you. And we know that you're young at heart, but you have a way about speaking to people that just makes it so easy. And I think so many people want this exact topic, Tom, because, we're out there and that's what we do. We talk to people because our whole business is wrapped around talking to people. And it's not about convincing them about anything. It's just talking to them about something we know is going to help them with their health. And if they choose to do the business, you can do both. But yet there is something holding us back about talking to people sometimes. And and you just make it so simple. So what can we do to not have any of this fear?
Well, let's start with our team. We have a team that, how do I say this nicely, gets inactive at the slightest, wind. And so what do we do as leaders? We're supposed to do something. So we say, I'm really motivated and I can set an example of working really, really hard for my team, and I can call them up and tell them to talk to more people. Oh, yeah, that works. I tell my team to be positive. And these are things that leaders do. And based upon the activity in our downlines, we know how well those work. And that is, it's a little bit harder with outside motivation to get people to do something. Being internally motivated is a little bit better. So the question is, we have no problem here. We're on the call. But for all the people on our team that are not on the call, why aren't they? So here is the reason. A way to look at this is the only thing between us and where we want to be is a bunch of stuff we don't know yet. Because if we knew it, we'd already be there. But we don't know it. And you say, okay, that sort of makes sense. So what you're saying is everything I've learned in life so far and all the skills have taken me to where I am today. And if I'm going to go any further, I'm probably going to have to learn something new. And that's the truth. Now, you say, well, what am I going to have to learn in network marketing? I guess I'm going to have to learn some more skills. And the answer is it's not our fault. We don't know these things when we started. Nobody took network marketing in school. Our boss is not going to teach it to us. So when we get started, there's no shame in not knowing everything, like every skill in the universe. But there is shame if we don't bother to learn it. So then it's probably not so good. So the thing that's holding the people back right now, they said, well, I have these goals, but I'm afraid to talk to people. I see somebody be really good, but I hesitate. And there's a reason, because I got rejected before. I've had some bad experience. I feel icky. They make fun of me at the family reunion. I don't want to look like that, sleazy used car salesman down the street. So it's very natural to have fear. So the question is, what are we going to do about it? Well, we can stay where we are, which is probably not a good option, especially if we have fear right now on this call. Now, I'm assuming everybody here is brave, courageous superstars that never have a bit of fear. It's only the shy people that are afraid that are not on the call. So that's just an assumption here. But here's the good news. If there is fear in us, which is probably true, and our team, which is definitely true, there's only two solutions. So that kind of clears things up really quick. He says, well, so that's not complicated at all. So what is the two solutions? Well, solution number one is to build a brand new belief. Total belief system. And how we're going to do this is, I don't know, stand in front of the mirror in the morning, shout I'm one with the universe. Don't worry about what other people think. Tell little lies to our subconscious mind. Just be positive and change our mindset. So choice number one is to change our mindset. That's the reason for personal development. What's the other option? The other option is to totally avoid fear, which is learn a different way of talking to people so there's no fear would ever happen. Now, we have the chat open, so if you'd like to type in which one of those two seems better for you, to number one, change your mindset, or number two, to avoid fear. So what's your vote? I know a lot of people on live streams, so it's going to be really hard to jump over to Zoom, but let's see what we have here. We have change mindset, we have avoid fear. So far 50-50. All right, change your mindset. Number one. Okay, we have a lot of change your mindset. Change your mindset obviously is the bigger vote. So change our mindset, which is totally how we think. So now we're confident there is no fear because we don't worry about anything. And number two is just completely avoid fear. All I can do is report my personal experience. In my personal experience in over 50 years of network marketing is choice number one, to change the mindset of me or team members. I haven't got to work yet. So I'm like zero for 50 plus years. I have all these people say, I'll just go to read some more motivational books, jump up and down, set new goals, gold-plated vision board, change how I feel, psychotherapy, affirmations to my subconscious mind. I haven't got that to work yet. Now, that's just my personal experience. You may levitate and be able to do really cool things. But what I've been able to do over 50 some years is totally avoid fear and just avoid it so it doesn't happen. I said, there's got to be a way of talking to people where there's no chance of fear. So I can probably do that. I can learn some skills. So when I talk to people, it doesn't seem icky or scary. When we talk to people, we have this feeling it's win, lose, live, die, success, failure. If I can get rid of all that and totally avoid fear, well, that'll work just as well. So over the last 50 some years,
I think that would be what people would want to do. I mean, I think they're thinking, and I know I said myself that I would want to change the mindset, but it's the easiest if we could avoid the fear. But could we do both? Because it is scary. It's sometimes scary to talk to people. So how could we do that?
We're going to totally avoid fear by talking to people differently. I'm sorry, I cannot advise anybody here on how to change your mindset since I've been totally unsuccessful in my entire career. I could probably talk a good game and quote all the motivational gurus, but I haven't been able to pull it off. So what I'm saying for all the shy people here on the call, you don't have to become some dynamic, brave, courageous superstar, walk through walls, walk on fire, or whatever. We just change how we talk to people, and then there's no problem. So the question is, if I'm not going to teach you about number one, changing the mindset, how we feel about this, let's take a look at the choice number two. Let's completely avoid fear, because I can talk about that. So relax. You don't have to be a superstar to do this. Even shy, nerdy engineers like me can do this. So here's how we're going to totally avoid fear when talking to prospects. There's a thing called the principle of reaction. And the principle of reaction says that people don't use their free will. I'm sorry to offend people, but Carla says it's okay if I just talk straight. People spend their whole life, all day long, simply reacting to the boss, being upset, or something bad happened at home, the car breaking down, or their favorite show didn't end the way they wanted to. People just react because it's easy for us to do this. So the question is, if we talk to people, let's say I go out and I talk to people and I don't have very good skills and I say stupid stuff and I get rejected. And Carla goes out and says brilliant stuff to them. And they all say, Carla, tell me more. How can I join? We both talk to the same person. And you say, well, what happened to that person? Changed? No, they simply reacted to who talked to them and how they said it. So here's the good news. People are not going to be thinking much, but all they're going to be doing is reacting to us, which means if people don't use their free will, they're just going to react. That means this whole sponsoring thing is somewhat in our control. So all we have to do is change what we do, and they will react differently. And you say, well, how does that happen? Let me just give you an example. Let's do 80,000 years ago, two cavemen meet in the forest, and they see each other for the first time. They have about 1 second to decide if that person's friend or foe. If they get it wrong, they die. They don't reproduce. So we come from a long lineage or genealogy of people that were able to source out if somebody was friend or foe, salesman or not, in about 1 second. And it's not a conscious thing. This is subconscious. We have a program in there that kind of sorts all this out for us. We'll talk about that in a second. And you say, well, that's probably true, because those that didn't get it right, hey, they died. So let's try the second example here. You're in Cancun on the beach and enjoying yourself, and you see a person walk towards you in a three-piece suit, red tie, carrying a briefcase, and a button says, ask me how. What kind of a decision are we going to make here? The decision is going to be, that's kind of a salesman. And you make that decision before we've even said anything. Or how about this? We go to a party and we say to people, do you keep your income options open? Now, you're probably cringing. You say, well, that might have worked in 1990, but, it's not 1990 anymore. So what is happening is people are reacting to us. So remember, here's the good news. All we have to do is change a little bit what we do, and people will react to us 100% different. React to us with no rejection, none of the sleazy salesmanship. It's going to be really cool. So we learn about the principle of reaction. You say, okay, I got it. So I want to control this. Okay, let me give you 3 basic ways to control this. Now remember, people are going to react to us. So here's 3 things that we can do so people will react to us differently. And we're going to do all this before we say any words. So if you know about the color personalities, there's great scripts and stuff. Yeah, that's good. But remember, we don't have much time to do that because we only got like a second. There's not a lot you can say in a second. So here is the three things we can do. Number one is body language. When you see somebody, unfortunately, we prejudge. We prejudge harshly. We look at people and their body language, maybe even a little bit how they dress. And say, yeah, people's body language could make a difference. Now, fortunately for everybody here, before you pull out a book on body language, mind, don't worry about it. You don't have to learn anything about it. All right. All I'm going to say is body language will make a difference. Number two, we're going to judge people. Well, let's just do body language very quick. Can we tell the difference between a smile and a frown? I think so. And go a little bit deeper. Women can tell the difference in somebody's face if they have a forced smile with slightly thin lips, or they can move one eyebrow at a time. Men can't do it because we're thinking about sports. But the point is, body language is pretty easy to pick up. You don't have to be an expert on this. Just notice. Number two, the second thing we control is tone of voice. We judge not the words in the message, but we judge the tone of voice they were said in. So when mother yells, "Come down to the kitchen," we are listening. All right, what was her tone of voice? Day or night difference, just a little change of voice. You say, wow, that made a big difference. And our tone of voice could be how we talk to people. It could even be the pace we talk to people. If I'm from Texas and I go to New York City and I talk to everybody like a Texas hick, it's not going to end well. And if a New York City person comes to Texas and talks really fast, they're going to say city slicker, and that's not going to end well. So the tone of voice, people pick up. And the third thing is they pick up, and this is how we're able to judge people in about a second, is something called microfacial expressions. In 1 second's time, you and I are able to change our facial expression up to 25 times in 1 second. And you say, that can be pretty tiring. And the answer is, yeah, you can't do this consciously, but subconsciously, we can control this. So when we meet somebody, they have specialized programs in the back of their mind, controlled by their subconscious mind, that sorts out the body language, the tone of voice, and the microfacial expressions. It sorts them all out and sends a message to our conscious mind: you can trust that person, or don't let them sit next to you. It's automatic. We don't have to think about it. It just happens. How cool is that? So the question is, how can we get them to make that quick subconscious mind thing like, hey, this person's good. There's no reason to be scared or in rejection and stuff like that. So to show you about this microfacial expressions very quickly, if you have pets, I've probably done this example before, but if you have pets, you walk into the living room one morning and say, hey, pets, hop in the car. Let's go for a fun ride. Pets run underneath the sofa. I say, man, they're going to take me to the vet. The pets know. And you say, well, how did the pets know? Did they break into my Apple Diary with their little paw and read the schedule? They don't even understand English. But how the pets know that this time getting in the car, they're probably going to go to the vet. So in the meeting chat here, what do you think the pets picked up on? Remember, they didn't break into our Apple Diary. They don't understand any English words. And, well, I don't know. What do you think? Say, well, they probably, let's start tone of voice. They said, wait a minute. 3 months ago, you said, hop into the car. And 3 months ago, when you said, hop into the car, you moved your elbow. And that time, we ended up with it at the vet with needles in our butt. So now we know every time you say that in that tone of voice and move your elbow, we're going to go to the vets. And so they say, don't come out. They say, that's how pets kind of figure out, because they're not very good at English language. or Danish or Swedish or whatever. The point is, we can pick that up. Let me just ask the women here. Do you know when men are lying to you? Yeah. You probably can pick that up pretty good, probably almost consciously. We just know. So if people are reacting to us like we're a salesman and stuff like that, we say, man, we got to control all these things. Now, you and I can't control our body language. We're not going to take a course tonight. We're not going to control our tone of voice. We're not going to control our microfacial expressions ever. What we are going to do is something that's automatic. We're going to take care of all these three things automatic with one simple hack. And the hack is we're going to change our intention. Now, our microfacial expressions on our body language and our tone of voice is only an automatic reflection of our intentions. Now, how hard is it to change our intentions? Pretty easy, right? If we change our intentions, all those three things happen automatically. You say, okay, so should my intention be to sell them? Probably not. That's going to show up. How about to manipulate them? Oh, yes, that's a winner. Or to trick them? No. So let's try this. I'm going to sell Carla. I'm going to go into her office. She's a big-time vice president of the bank, and I'm going to sell her. I'm thinking, man, I just need one more sale to rank up to win that trip and even out my legs. And I'm going to go in there, and I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm going to close. She's not going to come out of there alive. And I come in there with that on my face. Think Carla will notice? Well, yeah. I'm dead meat. It's all over before I even started the words. Now, what if I said this before I went in to talk to Carla? I says, Carla's a good friend. I just want to help her. All I want to do is leave her, gift her one more option for her life. That's it. I don't know what's going on in her life. She can take the option or not. I just want to make sure she knew about it. Now, prospects know their lives better than we do, correct? We shouldn't be presumptuous, egotistical people that say, I know what's good for you. All we can do is suggest what's good that will help them. And at that time, they can decide if they're having a fight with their spouse, something's going on with the job, or they were dropped on their head when they were a kid, and they can decide all this. So if I go in to talk to Carla and I'm saying, all I want to do is just offer one more option, just one more option for her. If she takes it or not, that's up to her. But I don't want her to say 6 months later, why didn't you tell me? I'm going to Cancun and she's freezing in Minneapolis. They're going to say, that was pretty rude. I thought we were friends. At least you would at least tell me. So let's think about this. We're going to offer an option and you're saying, well, but I want to manipulate them. I want to sell them. I have my agenda. Well, just stop the agenda and all the rejection goes away. And here's why we should stop our agenda and don't sell. Because how many people would agree that what we offer right now is probably a better option than what they're living right now? I mean, do people want to live longer or die quickly? Tough choice. Do people want more money in their life or less money? Man, I didn't do good in math in school. No, they can figure this out. So we don't have to sell, manipulate, testimonial them to death or show them a million slides and research reports. If we go in with the mindset that will be reflected in everything we do, that here's a cool option. You can add it to your life. If it fits you right now, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too, but I just want to leave it with you. And they will accept our message without all the negative programs in their brain like, oh no, It's going to be a sales presentation. It's a sales presentation going to try to close me at the end. If you close me at the end, I got to figure out something that's negative so I have some way of answering objections. All that stuff goes away. So that is how we overcome our personal fear of talking to people. But we're only halfway there. You say, all right, so I can see how you can say you can do this whole thing rejection-free by just changing our intention. Remember, we can't control the outcome, but we can control the output, what we do. So we are in charge of gifting people a chance to hear an option. That's it. We can't control the outcome. So when you start off every day saying, I need to close one more person, you already programmed your mind to have this win, lose, live, die. It just shows up. And you say, well, that's why people are negative over the phone. They just pick it up from my tone of voice or something. And the answer is yeah. Remember, humans have sophisticated programs to figure this out in about a second. So even before the words, yeah, even before the words. So if we come across with the right intention, which is all I want to do is give you a gift. It's not a sales presentation, but what I do know is the gift I give you is probably a whole lot better than what you have right now. And I know that you'll probably want it unless some things happen. Like right now, you're under stress, your children are doing bad in school and the principal's calling you in. Or maybe you have a program from birth that says never take any supplements or do anything unless it's a highly paid TV ad. Or maybe you have a program that says you'll fail at everything, don't even try. Or maybe you just don't have money right now because it's a tough financial time. We don't know. We don't know their situation. So let's not be pompous people that say, I want to tell you what's best. Just say, I'm gifting you this option. And they're smart. They can figure out what's better for them right now or not. Wow. I have to be a salesman. So what we have to do now is, that's the first step, rapport. The second step, as many of you know, especially if you read this book, I don't know if you have or not, but if you read the book, you know, the second step is at some point here, we're going to have to introduce our business or product into a social conversation. That's it. You say, well, how do I do that without sounding like a sleazy salesman? So let me give you the shortcut version. So I'm going to call up Carla and say, hey, Carla, remember me from 30 years ago? I sat across the room from you in high school. Do you keep your income options open? You're on my list of people to call. Oh, yeah, that's going to end well. It's going to be like, yuck. But what if I said this? Hi, Carla. This is Tom. Remember me from high school 30 years ago? I sat across the room from you. She says, not really. But yeah, sort of. I think so. You know, and I said, so we haven't talked in 30 years. All I wanted to know is what's new with you. Now, if you ask somebody what is new with you, what is their reaction? I get to talk about my favorite subject, me. This is awesome. And they say, it's all about me. The whole world revolves around me. Let me talk about me. And they will go into a 5-minute monologue. Don't even take a breath. They say, man, I'm talking about my favorite subject, which is me. Now, when they do this, if we have some level of skill here, we're going to hear that, wait a minute, there's a problem there. There's a problem there. Some things that our business could fix for them. But we just listen. Because at the end of 5 minutes, they're going to say this. Oh, wait, I forgot. My mother says, don't dominate the conversations. Let the other person talk. So what do you think they're going to ask us? What is new with you? And when they do, what's our answer? Do you think they're going to react to our answer? Yeah. So what's new with you? I'm with the groundbreaking, revolutionary test-based nutrition company that scientifically proven over 700,000 results. They don't have to be a rocket science to pick up that, right? They can figure that as, this is kind of a sales pitch coming, which should not be good. But if you don't want to pitch people by saying, hey, let me tell you about my business, what you want to do is have them ask you. I mean, there's no fear somebody asks you, right? If somebody asks you, say, if I tell you I have to kill you, that's probably pretty rude. So if they ask you, what's new with you, I think it's probably nice if we answer. They kind of expect that. So we need to come out with an answer that's rejection-free, doesn't set off the sales alarm, it's not sleazy, that there's no fear for us to do. And because we have no agenda, we never feel like a failure. Because if we set up a win, lose, live or die agenda, we're going to be ruining our self-image all the time by saying, oh, I failed today on this and I didn't fail there. No, you didn't. Our agenda should be what we do, the output, not the outcome. They're in charge of that. So we are going to gift them an option. So here's how we're going to do it. And I don't know if you had a chance to read this book, but you can download it for free. And if you hate reading, just read the chapter on icebreakers, just one little chapter. And I'm going to show you my favorite icebreaker for rejection-free, zero self-image, shy people like me. So are you ready? It's going to require 2 sentences. So it's not that complicated. So the first sentence is, we're going to mention a benefit about our business or our product. So say, what's new with you? You can mention a benefit. Now, what are some of the benefits of our product? Well, you might say, well, it actually, you can test the results and see if it's working. You're not wasting your money. You're saving money off other supplements. You could say, we have all these test results and testimonials, and the business having extra money is probably good because inflation is probably going to keep going. So we have a lot of benefits, right? So I'm going to do it for business, but you can substitute benefits about your product, right? So the first thing we're going to do is just mention a benefit. So what's a benefit? You might say, I got an extra paycheck every week now, so I only have to work 4 days a week instead of 5. Hey, 3-day weekends forever. Is that a pretty good benefit? People go, yeah. Tell me more. You say, life is good. It's already over, right? Or they say, so what's new with you? And said, my friend Carla quit her job and now she works out of her home. She doesn't have to commute. Good benefit. So what's new with you? I used to spend a fortune on vitamins, and then I found out there's a test you can take to find out what you really need. Oh, really? Tell me about that test. So what's new with you? Well, I don't have so much energy that my grandchildren whine, grandma, slow down. I can't keep up. Oh, how'd that work? So we all know benefits, right? And we don't have to go through them all here, but we're going to pick a benefit of what we offer. We'll announce it because they asked us, what's new with you, right? Mention the benefit. And you can say, so what's the second sentence then? The second sentence is asking permission. We're going to allow them, we're going to give them permission to ask us for more details. Now, what does this mean? Is if they have already made the mental yes decision from our benefit, yeah, that's something I want, we're going to say it's okay if you ask me for more details. If they already make a mental decision that's not interesting to them, they will just simply change the subject and talk about something else, like how about the sale down at Macy's? So I'll give you some permission statements. that you can say as your second sentence. Here we go. Would you like to know how I did it? Or would you like to know how it works? Would you like to know Carla's secret? And they can say yes or no. They say, not really, but the football game comes on. And you say, well, that seems pretty easy. No agenda. Our prospects are going to relax. We didn't corner them in where they feel bad for telling us no. Because isn't that kind of a icky feeling when you kind of force a presentation on a friend because they can't refuse because they're a close friend? So the icebreaker might sound something like this. I'm at work on Monday, and I say to my coworker, I hate this job, but I finally got an escape plan. My coworker says, huh? Would you like to know my plan? Yeah. That's it. Or I could say on Monday, the dream-sucking vampire boss takes little bits of my brain out every day, turning me into a human zombie. But I'm finally going to be able to get out of here. Would you like to know what I'm going to do? Yeah. Now, as soon as they say yeah, here are the next words you should say. Then we should talk. How hard was that? Well, yeah, we should talk. Well, when? Well, I don't know. She said, well, I can't talk now at work because they'll hear us, but can you call me later on tonight? Yeah. So getting an appointment is easy. They're begging for the appointment. So as soon as they say they hear our benefit and we give them a permission statement that it's okay to ask for more, as soon as they say yeah, then you will say, then we should talk. Let's try another one. So what's new with you? Well, I used to spend a fortune on vitamins, but now I found out what works. It's by doing a special test. Oh, really? What was the test? Well, we should probably talk. Oh, yeah. Tell me now. All right. Now's a good time to talk. They say, wow, I can do that. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this is a game changer for shy people. You gift people an option based upon understanding that I've heard some problems when they were talking. So that's the way I know which benefit to bring up. And say, give them a permission statement. Would you like to know how Carla did it? Would you like to know her secret? Would you like to know what my mom did? Would you like to know my secret plan? You say, wow, I could do a whole bunch of these. So you don't have to write these down. In the book, it has a whole bunch of them you can use, but just read that one chapter and that will give you how to do this icebreaker. You say, wow, that's pretty good. So there's anything else I could do to put the odds in my favor, to totally relax them. I said, well, we said, then we should talk. And say, well, let's talk at coffee break. All right, so coffee break, we talk. Now, what are you going to do when you sit down and talk to them? Pull out the PowerPoint presentation? Shine it on a projector up against the wall in the coffee room? I don't think so. Do you think now's the time to come across like a salesman and say it's going to be a win-lose, live or die? I'm not going to tell you the price until the end. It's going to be like build up this long thing of benefits, and then we're going to spring everything at the end. What you got to do? I don't know. That doesn't seem like what you do if you really like somebody. So let me give you some opening words that you could say as you start your presentation. If you say these words, it's going to make you look super confident, even though we're not. It's going to make our what we offer look so awesome that we don't care if they take it or not because we know everybody else will. it will remove all that negative programming, like, well, let me watch in case there's something I don't like. Remove all of that and make them think, oh man, I just got to find something here that's good. Just something's good so I can take it. Now, would that be reasonable? Yeah. So here's how we can start off the actual presentation. Now, we know that at the end of the presentation, we probably want to get a decision, because we don't want them to say, I think it over, because we know when they say I need to think it over, that means no, but they don't want to hurt our feelings because, you know, they're friends with us. But we don't want that. And if they think it over, they're not going to get any new information after we leave. They're going to forget most of the stuff. So the idea is at the end, let's have them make up their mind. So here's some opening words. They say, well, yeah, so let's talk. How's this work? And I says, well, there's two options. Now, how does that sound to them? Options mean I get to choose. There's no agenda on your part. I can pick what's best for me. You don't have an agenda. How cool is that? So I said there's two options. The first option is easy. Don't do anything. Keep your current life and everything the same. They say, well, that's safe. So what you're saying is, if this is not interesting, it's cool. Yeah. That's an option. And the second option is to take advantage of this part-time business I'm doing and have that extra money you need. That was easy. So let's try it for a product. Now, there's two options. The first option is easy. Don't do anything. Just keep paying for vitamins, never knowing if they're, going to pay off or not. Keep your life the same. Don't even change brands. Or the second option is to take this little test and find out if what you really need. Save yourself all that money. Do we got the option opening? All right. You can replay this on replay on Zoom. All right. Then here's the next sentence. Now, I don't know which option will be the best for you. I don't know your personal circumstances. Oh, you're right. But so if you want, I can explain to you how option 2 works. What are they going to say? If they say, tell me how option 2 works, how can you mess up? It's just that easy. And all I said was, no, I don't know which option will be best for you. Only you know what's going on in your personal life, right? Your personal circumstances. So if you want me to explain how option number 2 works, happy to do it. Wow. And they say, wow, so you're just going to give me the option. It's up to me. And all of our bad feelings kind of go away. And you say, man, so now I can tell them a little bit about test-based nutrition. I could tell them about having, well, if you say break the zero so I have enough money so I can take Fridays off of work and only work 4 days a week, that would change my life forever. 3-day weekends forever would be awesome, You say, yeah. So that is a way of doing it with 100% no rejection. And you say, well, that sounds almost too easy. I want more stress in my life. I want people to reject me. And aren't you afraid that people say no? And I says, no, they're in charge of their decisions. I'm not in charge of the spouse they chose, or the job they chose. I'm not in charge if they can't do math and can't figure out that more money is better than less money. I'm not in charge of how busy they are right now. I'm not in charge of this. I'm only in charge of my output, which is to gift them an option. And if they pick up any agenda from ourselves, well, now they're going to feel like a win-lose, rejection. I'm saying, it's okay to say no. Keep your life the same. No problem. I just want to let you know there's this option. And they will pick that up, just like our pets pick it up. They will definitely 100% pick it up because people are reactive. And here's a classic example I use about people being reactive. Because a lot of times people say, well, I don't know about that. I got to get to the testimonials first. And I said, look, let me show you how reactive people are. Right now, you go outside, you see a stranger on the sidewalk, give him $100. Will the stranger react? And the answer is, well, yeah, the stranger reacts. Oh, wow, I won the lottery. Do you have any more? This is really good. They're going to have a certain reaction. And of course, you could run across somebody who says, well, I don't never take money from strangers. But, most people are going to have a certain reaction. Now, let's reconsider. Let's say we're inside the house now. We go outside to the sidewalk, see the exact same person, but this time we don't give them $100. This time we give them a punch in the nose. Will they react? Oh, yeah, they'll react. I mean, there'll be a totally different reaction. And they say, well, people from Minnesota are pretty polite, so they'll probably go like, oh man, hurt my nose. That was very rude. But the point is, the reaction is going to be different. People react to us. And it's not only the words we say, because most of it's over before we get to our first words. And now we can control it by a simple little hack, which is to control our intention. Now, it may not happen right away, but once we get the hang of this, we could go anywhere, meet any stranger or any friend, and give them a benefit and say, would you like to know her secret? Or would you like to know how she did it? Or would you like to know the secret plan? And if they say yes, totally pre-sold. And say, well, we should talk. And they say, well, let's talk now. And you can say, well, and say, about the options. People go, man, all I have to do is say, oh, there's two options. The first option is to keep your life the same. Well, I can do that. It's totally within my comfort zone. So there's no stress in their part. And the second option is to take advantage of what I show you. And they say, well, if I keep my life the same, nothing will get better. But if I can take the second option, if I can find something good in that, I'll want to do it. So now they're looking for reasons why versus why not. So in all my years of network marketing, all I can tell you is I've tried chanting affirmations and getting motivated and jumping up and down. But as soon as I came up to the first prospect, most of that stuff went away. So I said, well, here's another way of doing it. And this is only an option for everybody here. It's only an option to have no agenda. But if you like doing the business with no rejection, always feel good, never be banned from weddings and funerals, and to have a lot of people just lean forward and say, man, this is something I can do. I like this. And say, yeah, if they come up with a whole bunch of objections, say, it's only an option. Relax. You keep your life the same. And what happens is a lot of them start arguing with me. No, I need to do this. Okay. People love options. So let me leave you with one more option or two more options. Let's look at one. The option is tomorrow or today, you talk to somebody, change the agenda. You say, it's going to be hard for me to do that. I've been programmed to look for people and be the sniper and force them into it, manipulate them. Yeah, it might be hard, but a couple of days we can feel better about this. Try having no agenda. And option number two is there's a book in the chat called the Happy Network Marketer that you can download and read the chapter on icebreakers. And now you don't have to. That's strictly up to you. It's only an option. But the point is, if we learn how to talk to people better, they will react different. And gosh, life is so much more fun when you never have to worry about rejection. And if they have any objections, you can say, hey, take option number one. And they backtrack and say, no, let's talk some more. It's kind of fun. But anyway, let me turn it over to Carla, because I know everybody here just can't wait to come up with some really cool icebreakers. Please read that icebreaker section. It's only going to take you, 10 or 15 minutes to read it, but it will change how we talk to people forever. So Carla, back to you.
Oh, Tom, I love this because it made it so simple. Was I not telling the truth when I said he makes it so simple? And yes, the link to his book is both in the chat here in Zoom. And if you are streaming, it is also in that chat. And if you're watching a recording, it will also be in that comment section. Now, I have one question for you, Tom. And that is, you said to not have an agenda, but I was thinking it's actually also kind of changing that mindset in a way, because you said don't want to change your mindset, but it really is just not having an agenda and or having the agenda of wanting the best for that person, because that's what you really want. You want to give them the option. So it all kind of ties together in the same way as maybe like artists saying, just you're being a good friend. Because if you're being a good friend, you're wanting to help people. So if your agenda is to be a good friend, your agenda is to help people, you will always have a different intention. Your intention changes. So if we're not thinking of, we need the next title, we want, to have the next customer partner, but our intention is to help them. Our intention is to be a good friend. That will always change the demeanor. It would always change the expression. And then using your simple words makes that much difference. Isn't it having an agenda or is it not?
Once we change our personal agenda, people just pick up on it. It's automatic. It's outside of our control. Our subconscious mind handles it. Our subconscious mind says, if your agenda is this, so everything we do is going to reflect that. It's like flashing neon lights. A man comes home to his wife at 3 a.m. in the morning, and she can probably tell if he's going to be telling a story or not. So yeah, he doesn't really have to get too deep into his sales presentation.
I love it. And the benefit, having that benefit and then giving them that permission statement is also super simple. And the options, and again, with the intention behind it, it just makes it simple. I don't know how you do it, Tom. Sometimes it just is, you see everybody on here just nodding the entire time. It just makes so much sense. And now with no fear, and it's not even, I think I said from the beginning, no fear of rejection, but it's actually no fear or rejection, because it's a no rejection system that you just laid out for us. And I think that's what people are in fear of, is that rejection. And here, you don't have to worry about fear, avoiding that and having that rejection. So thank you for your time, Tom. And I think people are going to use this and check out his book. It's in the link. Tom, thank you for your time. I know you're on the other end of the world somewhere, right?
Yeah. Still in Thailand, yeah.
Still in Thailand. So I know it's late for you, but thank you for your time. We so appreciate that. I think I will unmute everybody so that they can also tell their appreciation. Tom, thanks for your time. We so appreciate you here in ZINZINO. We love every time you're on here. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Tom.